Thomas Aquinas is generally considered as Western philosophy's foremost natural law theorist. Critically inheriting the main traditions of natural law from the ancient world, and carefully synthesizing them with Christian doctrine, his natural law theory has set the terms for subsequent developments and debates on the topic. In this video, we will explore Aquinas's natural law theory, and discover why it continues to be relevant in discussions about ethics and justice today. Aquinas's philosophy of law is primarily found in the second part of his work entitled Summa Theologica, particularly in questions 90 to 108, also known as his treatise on law. First of all, Aquinas defines law in general as a kind of rational ordering for the common good, promulgated by the one who takes care of the community. He distinguishes between four kinds of law: eternal, divine, natural, and human. The eternal law governs everything. It is God's idea of how the universe should be, it is His purpose and plan for all things. However, it can serve to guide human beings only if it is made known to them in some way. There are two ways through which the eternal law is made known to human beings: first, through the divine law, and second, through the natural law. The divine law refers to the commands or precepts of the eternal law, that allow human beings to achieve eternal life with God. It cannot be discovered by human reason alone, but only through divine revelation. It is primarily found in the Bible, such as for example the Ten Commandments, and Jesus' teachings. The natural law, on the other hand, is composed of those precepts of the eternal law, that govern the behavior of rational creatures. It is innate within human beings and can be naturally known by them. If followed, it allows human beings to flourish in this life. When human beings reflect on their natural inclinations, they can, Aquinas argues, discover certain precepts of the natural law, or the things they ought and ought not do, in accordance with their rational nature. The most fundamental of such precepts, according to Aquinas, is the self-evident principle, that good should be done and pursued, and the bad should be avoided. From here Aquinas derives the other precepts, based on what he believes are the principal natural inclinations of human beings. Firstly, the preservation of life. Human beings have the natural inclination to preserve their life. This gives rise to the precepts of self-preservation and of the prohibition of suicide or murder. Secondly, the procreation and education of offspring. Humans tend toward procreation and raising children, leading to the precepts that protect marriage and family. And lastly, the desire for the truth and life in society. Human beings have an inclination toward seeking the truth, particularly about God, and living in community, which leads to precepts about honesty, justice, and the common good. Despite the innateness of the natural law in human beings, Aquinas acknowledges that not everyone discovers or understands its precepts perfectly. Sin, emotions, ignorance, or cultural differences can obscure the full knowledge of the natural law in individuals and societies. To end, and to complete our discussion on Aquinas's philosophy of law, let us briefly define the last kind of law: human law. Human law, according to Aquinas, is the authorities' practical application of the natural law on their community, in light of its particular circumstances, needs, and realities. For example, authorities might enact a human law, based on the natural law precepts on self-preservation, that murder in their community should be punished by imprisonment in community service. Here it is important to note that for Aquinas, it is the natural law that serves as a kind of control on what can count as a legitimate, meaning, a morally and legally binding, human law. If a human law goes against the natural law, then it cannot be considered a law, but a perversion of it. To download a written summary of this video, check out the link in the description below. Also, please support our channel by buying our merch, donating at Buy Me a Coffee, or watching our other content. Thank you, and see you in our next one.